This NewsPod is all about opportunity. Many nonprofits dream of the big grant, the life-changing donation that comes in and provides sustainability, capacity, and furthers the impact of the organization. Wouldn't that be amazing if something like that really could happen? Hi, I'm Jeff Holden. Welcome to this nonprofit podcast NewsPod. I'm speaking with Serena Paulson, president of Impact 100 Greater Sacramento. And that opportunity I spoke of for life-changing grants, well, it does exist. And in this NewsPod, you'll hear how your nonprofit can apply for one of those grants. But I want Serena to better detail it for us here. Serena, before we get into the actual grant application process and what it's all about, would you give us a brief overview of Impact 100 Greater Sacramento?
I would love to. So the premise of our organization is for every 100 women that join and donate $1,000 as their membership dues, we create a $100,000 grant. So the more members we have, the more grant dollars that we have available to fund. And I couldn't be prouder sitting here today. In the first 3 years, we have awarded almost $1 million in our local communities.
That is just an amazing amount of money. And to think it's coming right from Sacramento participants in the program. So tell us a little bit more. What is the organization in terms of its makeup? What does it look like today? And I think you have a registration or application window open right now, too, to join, right?
We do. So we are kind of towards the end of our membership drive, which closes on February 28th. And I want to mention that 100% of our members' dues, the $1,000, goes towards building the grant. So we do not use any of those funds for operating expenses. We have donations for that. And so we are an organization comprised of all women, philanthropic women, who understand the power of collective giving. So the idea of, we each bring our contribution, which might not feel significant by itself, but when we pull it together, it becomes extremely powerful. And we've seen in the grants that we've awarded over the past 3 years, what that transformation looks like in our communities. And the money stays right here, just as you mentioned. So we award grants in our 4 counties, which is Placer, El Dorado, Yolo, and Sacramento.
I know we've had many of the organizations that you have awarded on the nonprofit podcast, and it's amazing to see really what that does for the organization, and the enthusiasm, the excitement, the opportunity to put it into play it's really astounding. It's a significant amount of money.
It is. And one of the things that is so powerful, and I hear from members all the time, is sometimes when you make a donation, while it is impactful, you don't always get to follow the thread of when you write the check to how it resonates, the impact that it makes. But as a member of Impact 100, you do. And we actually, our mixer in January, we invited our members to one of our recipients, which is Music Landria, and we're able to see what our funding did for that organization and for their constituents. And our next mixer in May is going to be at Rancho Cordova Food Locker. And we're going to in turn see how that has resonated and transformed that specific organization. So it's just such a unique opportunity to take your philanthropic spirit, but to be able to do so in an active way if you're wanting to do that.
And we had Buddy Hale in after he received his award. What an incredible episode. I happened to see him present to win his award, and it was just a very heart-wrenching story that he told that was so appropriate for what he's doing today. And of course, Carrie at the Rancho Cordova Food Locker, we also had on with her incredible situation where they're building a grocery store instead of a food bank per se, where it really provides dignity to people who are in a situation where they need food. You've really made a difference in those organizations significantly. Last year, over 180 applicants, over $450,000 awarded. I mean, that's just simply amazing. And these grants are awarded by categories as well, correct? So there's $100,000 per, depending on what the level of investment is from the membership. What are the categories?
Sure. So we have arts and culture, health and wellness, family, education, and environment.
Okay.
And what I'd like to mention, Jeff, is that if our members, whatever member wants to be involved, dependent upon their level of involvement that they and time that they have to get to the organization, um, our members are actually the ones that read, review, score the grants, the applications themselves. So it's a process that our members really lead and make the determination of who our semifinalists are going to be, who our finalists are going to be, and then ultimately vote to determine who will receive the grants.
Okay. And we skipped over something that I wanted to address. Last year, you had 392 members, give or take. And this year, the goal would be to get a little bit over 400 if possible, knowing full well that means $400,000 in grants. And last year, there was some additional awards that were donated or matched funds, correct? So that's why it was a little bit more?
Yes. So last year we had 392 members, and then we had a matching campaign that ended up getting us to the 452,000 that we awarded. And our generous member again this year has challenged us to another matching campaign. So whatever members that we have in the grant dollars, then we will add what we raise from that matching campaign to that. So we are hoping to have at least 400 members. We know that funding continues to decrease while need continues to increase. And so those two things are not working well together. And so we want to be a transformative and sustainable philanthropy in the region.
And you so are. And with the significance of those grants, it just makes such a big difference. They are life-changing. I want to be sure the applicants also know that there's a lot of fringe benefit that comes from applying. It's not just you send an application in, you make a presentation, and you hope that you win an award. I mean, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes all the way to the buildup later in the year. You want to share a little bit about the benefit to an applicant?
Sure. So one of the things that is, I think, not quantifiable really is the level of awareness and visibility that the nonprofits are receiving. And I will speak for myself when I say that as I've read applications, there are certain needs that exist in our community that we're all very aware of. But there are other needs that exist and a lot of organizations that exist that some people don't even know about. And so one of the things that I think is extremely powerful is the fact that our members are having awareness of those, and we're bringing to light to these organizations that exist. And through that, we are hearing from members and nonprofits alike that our members are getting involved to support those organizations, outside of what they're doing at Impact 100. The other portion, though, are things that we're doing that we like to call extra impact. So we hosted this year 3 grant writing workshops. We've done this is our 3rd year, and this year we added a 3rd actual workshop. And the intent behind those is to help organizations, give them some techniques and things that they can do when they're applying for our grant, but hopefully that will spill over to help them as they're applying for other funding opportunities as well. And we've heard success stories with regards to that. And this year, we were overwhelmingly excited by the fact we had over 200 attendees between those workshops of people from nonprofits in our community coming to learn more about that. And, the other part about that is the sense of community that happens in the room during those workshops is also something that is extremely powerful and beneficial to the nonprofit community. So we continuously are looking for ways that we can extend additional support outside of the grants that we award.
I'm smiling here because you said you had 200 attendees. You had 186 applications last year. If you've already had 200 attendees to one of the sessions, I'm going to guess that you're probably going to be over 200 applications in the process, not to mention the funding challenges that organizations have. So they're going to be coming more aggressively into any opportunity and option to get some funding.
I imagine you're right. I'm not sure what to expect with regards to that, but we want any and all nonprofits that meet our eligibility criteria to apply, and they can find that information on our website.
Well, and I suspect that your volunteers are going to be quite busy going through those applications this year for sure. Let's get into the specific details. Again, just one more time for everybody, deadlines, when the next event happens, and what's important for them to know.
Well, the number one thing right now is our membership drive. We can never have enough members. We need every woman in our region to be a member of Impact 100 Greater Sacramento. because the more members we have, the more money we can award. And we know that the need exists out there. So membership drive closes on February 28th. And on our website at Impact 100, greatersacramento.org, is a place where you can apply. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is, as you mentioned, our nonprofit application portal is currently open. And our nonprofits, local nonprofits in our region in those 4 counties where the money will be spent, can apply also on our website. And the portal closes on March 21st at midnight.
Do you have a date yet for the actual reveal when the awards will be granted?
So on the big reveal in April is where we will announce how many members we have, and we'll do our matching campaign. But then for awarding the grants, that'll be in late September.
Okay, good. Well, I have to ask, since I've been doing this with you for, this will be the 4th year, correct?
Yes.
Of the organization. And we started together at about the same time when we launched the NonProfit podcast in its very rudimentary form before we were even doing weekly cadence. But do you have any idea yet? Are we going to hit $500,000 this year?
I don't know. I cannot tell you that, but I can tell you we are sure trying. We're working as hard as we can, between our board and our ambassador team and so many of our members. Everybody is boots on the ground, working as hard as they can to bring every member that we have in. But it's only going to be possible with everybody listening, every woman listening that has a philanthropic spirit considers joining. Nicely
done. I've never gotten an answer from you or Evelyn back when you first started. So, but the excitement is there, and I don't think anybody saw $450,000 coming last year. And,
right.
And the year before, several $100,000. It just has grown each year. So I think the expectation's there that it likely will. And I know that the women that want to participate will actually step up. Serena, congratulations on such an incredible program that you and your team have given this nonprofit community. Thank you so much for sharing the information.
Thank you, Jeff. We are so grateful for your support.
And once again, applications close March 21st, 2026, and you can learn more and apply at impact100greatersacramento.org. Find all the details in the podcast notes as well. I cannot wait to see where this year ends up.
Me too.
This has been a NonProfit Podcast NewsPod. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe by visiting nonprofitpod.com.